sometimes. The most unforgettable characters are the ones no one expects to remember. Amid the insanity of Peacemaker, the blood, the explosions, the trauma buried beneath snarky banter, one character, barely on screen, managed to steal every single moment. He wasn't a superhero. In fact, he was barely coherent. But he was hilarious, and he was real in a way the rest of the chaos often wasn't. And fans couldn't stop asking one thing: why isn't he a regular? This is the story of one of Peacemaker's most unexpectedly brilliant side characters, how he became an accidental icon, what he reveals about this twisted universe we love, and why he deserves so much more than a few fleeting lines. Because in a series built on broken masculinity, American imperialism, alien butterflies, and yes, eagly, it's the weirdos on the edges who often tell us the most truth. Peacemaker is reeling, drunk, emotionally unraveling after the violent mess that was Project Butterfly. And, while we're still recovering from that brutal sequence of Lucius hallucinations and dead-end jokes, he shows up Casper Locke, a character who on paper was never meant to matter much. Played by the effortlessly funny yet precision-sharp Lachlan Monroe, Casper is introduced as one of the agents under Amanda Waller's watch. Part background noise, part comic relief. All potential at first, he's just tagging along, blending into the background with his clipboard and paper-thin authority. But then he speaks, and suddenly, the temperature of the room changes. You don't just walk into a room full of people with a chainsaw and not expect a little tension. It was the delivery. Dry, deadpan, bordering on clueless, but with just enough edge that you start to wonder, wait, is he actually a genius pretending to be dumb? Or a moron who stumbled into a secret war? That's the magic of Casper Locke. He's not the loudest. He's not the deadliest. He's not even the most competent, if we're being honest. But he feels like a truth-teller trapped in the wrong timeline, like someone who's seen too many briefings and not enough sunlight. And in that exact combination of awkward, absurd, and strangely grounded, he struck a nerve. The fandom noticed. Big time. Because in a world where Peacemaker walks through glass with a bullet in his shoulder and tells jokes while bleeding, where Vigilante commits casual murder with a smile, and where everyone seems to accept violence as a Tuesday, Casper Locke is the guy who's just uncomfortably there, watching, reacting, asking the questions nobody else dares to ask. Funny. Yes, but that's just on the surface, Casper. Locke works because he provides an emotional temperature. He reacts like audiences might in real life, confused, cynical, just self-aware enough to highlight the absurdity of it all while still being scared shitless. And that's what Peacemaker needs even more of, not just laughs, but characters who give us perspective without breaking the world. James Gunn created. Casper doesn't undo the tone, he anchors it. Just look at the way he slouches through scenes. Half dismissive, half waiting for someone to give him a reason to care. He contrasts Peacemaker's performative masculinity with underplayed awkwardness, like a passive observer accidentally swept into someone else's origin story. And we need that because, as wild, bombastic, and bloody as Peacemaker gets, it's still a story about identity, about guilt, about what happens when a man raised by a violent father and trained by a violent system starts to feel shame and doubt. And the slow, painful ache of self-awareness. Enter Casper. Not as a hero, not as a genius hacker, but as a mirror. A character who's close to the action, but not immersed in it, able to vocally object, joke, get it wrong, and still speak volumes. What's more, Casper doesn't try to steal scenes, but he does reveal the human cost of being in this world. He's the office guy in a war zone, the analyst sent into combat, and he handles it like anyone might poorly, but consistently. And somehow, hilariously, we root for him. Not because he wins, but because he lives. There's a scene, it's almost too easy to miss, where he's huddled behind a file cabinet, clutching a notepad and muttering under his breath. And in that 3-second beat, he does something that defines him. He doesn't glamorize the job, he survives it, and he comments on it, almost like a Greek chorus rapped. In bad tactical gear and dad jeans. It's that kind of layered comedy that elevates Peacemaker's universe, from pure carnage to genius satire. And Casper Locke is the key to unlocking more of that tone. So, why hasn't James Gunn made him a regular? The real answer? No one planned for him to land this hard. But now that he has, there's no excuse not to bring him back. Actors like Lachlan Monroe have built careers on characters like this, underplayed comic relief with surprising emotional depth just beneath the sarcasm. And if Season 2 truly wants to evolve the world without repeating itself, it needs new emotional contrasts. It needs more Caspers, more blurred lines, more characters who don't belong in this world, but help us understand why we can't look away from it. What if Casper gets promoted? What if Waller sends him in without backup? What happens when someone like him has to choose between survival and doing the right thing? Can you imagine what Peacemaker episodes would feel like with a regular dose of awkward, barely competent commentary from the corner? Not as a gimmick, but as a reminder that not everyone in a guns-blazing, alien-fighting world wants to be there. Some are just surviving it, and that's what makes them funny and meaningful. And if James Gunn is paying attention, necessary. Because not all heroes wear helmets. Some just carry CLIP BOARDS. Barely cue a slow fade into a final scene. Casper Locke in a cubicle, tapping his keyboard with a pencil, whispering doubts about his health coverage as gunfire erupts outside the window. In a world of laser beams and leather vests, he was the paperclip. Out of place but holding things together in ways no one expected. And maybe that's why Casper Locke matters more than the camera ever realized. Because what fans are really laughing with, what they're connecting to, isn't just his delivery. It's the energy he brings. The reminder that in the middle of a ridiculous war for Earth's survival, there are still guys like him underqualified, over-indexed on snack breaks, and just trying not to die before lunch. But more than that, he makes the world of Peacemaker feel believable, because real people, people like us, don't know how to fight aliens. We hide. We panic. We ask questions at the worst possible time. We say, are we getting a per diem for this? While bombs go off in the building next door, and that is Casper Locke. That moment of wait, what the hell is going on, and why am I here? That characters like Peacemaker and Harcourt are too hardened to voice anymore. But that audiences are still feeling. He's a stand-in for everybody watching from the couch who's not sure if they would be brave or lucky or just completely screwed. In the same scenario, and when you wrap that up in such a dry, oddly confident package, it becomes comedy, not sketch comedy, but the kind that lives in a human place. The kind that makes you laugh because you recognize yourself in it. Now imagine giving that dimension more space. Imagine peeling back more of that dynamic, letting us see who Casper Locke is when he isn't clinging to walls or ducking behind desks. Does he have a family? Why did he take the job? Is he just loyal to Waller? Or is he stuck in a system he knows is broken but can't afford to leave? There are stories there, and that's what James Gunn does best. He finds the heart in the misfits, the trauma in the clowns, the backstory behind the punchlines. We didn't know we wanted a redemption arc for Peacemaker until Gunn gave us one. We didn't know a CGI eagle could break our hearts until Eagly flew in. We didn't expect a feel for Vigilante until we learned he was more than just a psychopath in a TRACKSUIT. And now, we didn't think we needed more Casper Locke until we met him, and now we can't stop thinking about how much he brings to this world. He deserves more than the sidelines. He's not just a background player. He's proof that this show's universe still has room for people who stumble instead of soar. For people who wear terrible tactical gear but show a terrific amount of truth, because Peacemaker isn't just about guns and aliens. It's about people. Broken ones, and the ones whose biggest power is surviving the madness without losing themselves, even if they lose their lunch. So yes, we want more Peacemaker, but we also want more moments like the ones Casper Locke gives us, moments where we aren't just entertained. We're seen, and sometimes it's the funniest character in the room. It reminds us that in all this glorious, blood-soaked chaos, there's still something deeply human worth holding on to. And his name might just be Casper, or Lockie, or a clipboard guy, or the guy who screamed when the butterfly attacked. The coffee machine. Call him what you want. Just bring him back. Because if Peacemaker Season 2 is going to stare deeper into darkness, it needs the comic relief and the comic reality. And Casper Locke is both. Casper quietly putting on sunglasses indoors, nodding like he's seen everything, even if he understands nothing.